Anybody take notes? Either of you,
I can try.
I mean, okay, yeah, taller. Okay. It doesn't have to be like brilliant. Just anything will do, but. Thank you. Okay. All right, I'd like to call our meeting. Hi, Elizabeth, can you hear me? Oh, there's Amna.
Oh, and I'm not yet.
Hi, Amna.
Hello.
Hi, Jamie. I can hear you.
Thank you, friends. Thanks for being
So
here.
Anna, are you taking notes then?
I can. Yes. I just need to get.
She took them
Yeah.
last time. I don't know if she wanted to keep, I don't know if she wanted to keep doing it or not.
Yeah.
I'm not overstepping my bounds, am I?
No.
Commissioner,
So,
Commissioner?
Amna,
Chair?
no, you're fine, you're fine. Amna, are you good to take notes? If it's not,
Yes.
okay. All right, thank you kindly.
Yes.
All right, okay, we're gonna call this to order. It's 4:06. Has anybody had a moment to peruse the minutes from December? Do I need to do them separately, Todd? Approval of minutes from
No,
December
I
and
don't
January?
think
Okay,
You can do them together.
okay, so we need to approve the minutes from December and from January, and we just need a motion.
I will move to approve the minutes from the last two meetings,
Wow, thank you very much.
December or January.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Seconded.
Paul, second, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Elizabeth? You good with those minute approval?
Hi.
Thank you. Okay. Fabulous. Passed, and then, yes, sir.
Visitor comments.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, can we introduce?
Sure, if you want to do that first.
Okay, all right, and sorry, Vera, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Vera,
That's okay.
I'm terrible with names, I'm writing your name down right now. Okay, Vera, do you wanna, do you wanna take a minute to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Vera Cavato. I am the new Assistant Director of Public Works. I'm here to help Todd and staff on whatever they need.
Awesome.
I'm excited to be here at this meeting.
Thanks for being here. It's nice to meet you, Vera. Okay, and so Todd has visitor comments.
Yes. I had somebody submit through the sustainability feedback form online. Ralph B. Hofston, 629 West Kirkham Avenue. He says that he is interested in a comprehensive sidewalk maintenance program to be cost shared with citizens as done years ago. We used to have a 50-50 cost share program for sidewalks. Repairs are needed urgently, but remain too costly for replacing just a few slabs. I plan to propose this idea to the council in the near future, perhaps to revive the program of some 20 years ago. So just letting you know that that's gonna be coming.
Okay,
And then it's up to the council if they want to reinstate the program.
and so do you have any, that's with Public Works, right?
They apply through Public Works. We go out, measure how much needs to be replaced. Give them a cost estimate, and then they pay us 50% upfront, and then we schedule the work to be done.
Okay, all
Is
right.
it by square foot or?
Yeah, it's usually by square foot.
Okay.
I have a question. How does it work right now?
It's 100% responsibility of the property owner.
Ah, okay.
And if you're only replacing 2 slabs, it costs you an arm and a leg. Because concrete is very expensive when you do a short load.
Mhm. Thank you.
Agenda hard copy. So used to writing.
Yeah. Go down to
Okay, interesting. I have more questions about that too.
We don't.
Yeah, I know. Right, we'll chat about that and then be able to share some more
Well,
information
I mean-
if it comes up.
Plus, we gotta wait till he brings it to council.
Yeah,
It may not be something council wants to move forward with.
okay. Okay, all right, great.
I
Okay.
had a sustainability form. Guys submitted.
All right, groovy.
It's right at the bottom.
Wow.
Okay, our old
Mm.
business. The update on the SIUE greenhouse gas benchmarking. I was reviewing the minutes and saw on there that we put that we are gonna, and I did speak with. Or I emailed Dr. Locke about a later time. And then in our minutes that I was reading right before I came here, I noticed that it says for the summer or fall. Is that still where that sits? We don't have any hope of starting that in this,
We can't start. that, right?
okay. Okay, and so that still has to make its way onto a work session agenda, right? Am I right with that?
Yes.
Okay, how do we make sure that that is on the horizon or on the radar?
Probably won't happen until July because it's budget season.
Okay,
So the next several work sessions are gonna be budget related.
okay, so is it our responsibility to make sure that that's brought up in the June meeting in order to put that on the session, on the work session? for
No,
July?
I'll work with Dr. Peoples on it.
Okay, I just didn't know like who were the responsible parties for making that happen.
That would be me,
Okay,
getting it on the calendar.
okay, great, okay, well, thanks, Todd.
Here.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
So Todd, does that realistically mean that if it's on the agenda in July, that there's a possibility that it could be done in the fall,
Yeah, if council's on board with it,
if council's on board?
because then they have to appropriate the money. I mean, the money's there, but we have to
Yeah,
appropriate it to the project.
okay, I just wanted like, to your point, I think what you're saying is, we need to make sure that we're respectful of the school year, right? So like, if we are getting it approved in July, then we can start conversations with Dr. Locke again to get things.
Because does the semester start in late August or?
August,
Late
yeah.
August, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, great, then I will put that as a reminder for me, and then Todd, you and I can touch base on that as well, if I have any other things to update. Okay, thank you for that. All right, the green space collaboration that we've been working on our speaker series, the speaker series. They've had 2 speakers, one for Dark Sky so far this year in January, and then the one that was for this month, earlier this month was How to Kill Your Lawn. There were like over 80 people there. It was a fantastic
Wow.
turnout, really like curious and eager folks, and Webster's guidelines or ordinances for the lawns are very flexible for the front yards. So people are excited, I think. The next step in that process is going to be the No Mow Month. And for those of us on the subcommittee with Green Space, we'll probably meet one more time to kind of build get on the same page for that No Mow Month, because I think that's a really cool program. I know Carla was super interested in that as well. Just want to make sure that we're supportive in whatever way we can. Carrie Coyne, the chair of Green Space, has looked into having signs made for people to put in their yards. So if there are questions from other neighbors, they can scan a QR code. And on the other side, put leave the leaves. So in the fall, those same people, if they want to leave their leaves, can explain to their neighbors why they're leaving their leaves. That's me. Yes, Todd.
If we do a no mow month,
Mhm.
we need to make sure that code enforcement is aware
Yes.
that we are doing it because.
Green Space is already
We're gonna
taking,
start sending
Yeah.
complaints and then they're gonna be sending letters out to people to cut their grass.
yeah. Green Space has already taken care of that piece, because, we want to make sure that we're not making extra work for people
Yes.
or people extra angry. Also trying to figure out like what's the best way to communicate this and get in, if we've learned anything with the bike lanes, it's to get in front of and explain to the community what is happening, instead of being reactionary.
Don't forget about Jenny.
Yes, Jenny, for sure. Jenny's gonna flex on this for us. And so, that is, so the Mow Month info, the speaker is gonna be in March. And then the Mow Month is gonna be April. Being that the spring is a month early this year. I don't even know what to anticipate anymore. Okay, so that's that. For the speaker series that we're working with Green Space on, Carrie and I decided they would do the first half of the year and we might manage the second half. And so we just need some brainstorming on speakers, people we know, things from sustainability that we feel is super important to plug in with folks. And also like, I think issues that are important to us, like for me, I know solar and benefits from the Inflation Reduction Act, like what residents can tap into, that's really important. And solar is on our agenda as new business, and I'll get to that then, but so that's one thing for me that's important. Elizabeth, I know you just put something in the chat. Can you talk? Sorry.
No, it was just a comment. I didn't realize people mow their lawn in April.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to mow mine now. It's starting to
Me
get
too.
bushy.
Nice bushy too.
My flowers are coming up and everything. It's crazy.
We're gonna push our no mow to May because we never have mowed in April.
Nice. You're just like, as a statement, you're like, this climate change is stupid. Yeah. So any ideas anybody has, let's just really start to think about that so we can get that organized. Somebody even said they would love to talk about mosquitoes again, which was a fun.
Yeah, good
I don't-
presentation.
Yeah, it was. So we, whatever we want to explore, we can. So stay tuned on that. And like I said, if you have anybody come to mind, please let us know. Or let me know. The stormwater management plan, Carrie and I took a look at. Do you wanna?
Yeah,
Todd, do you wanna?
I'm going, so we had our scoring meeting last Friday, week ago Friday. And we were all in agreement that we were gonna go with intuition and logic. I reached out to them and I'm meeting with them tomorrow afternoon.
Oh,
Ready for a kickoff, so
Okay.
we can get started on putting together their prices, cost estimate. And I can start negotiations.
Nice. Great, thank you.
What was the fee for that?
We don't know yet.
Yeah,
No,
we
don't.
didn't get, we had request for,
Just the capabilities, qualifications.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay,
But the other projects that they are currently doing are 400,000 plus. I don't think ours is that involved, so I don't think it'll be
Mhm.
anywhere near that.
and those were developing new
Yeah,
plans,
so
right?
we're-
We
yeah,
have
those
a
are pretty much
plan.
from scratch, where ours is
yeah, are they
taking our
able to?
plan and
Yes,
updating it, revising it.
yeah.
So it won't be as involved.
nice.
Okay, cool.
So I'm hoping it's under 100.
Okay.
We'll see.
Me too. Fabulous. Okay, thanks Todd for that. And so, our next meeting with the Green Space Subcommittee is TBD. Carrie and I are trying to work that out right now. So, we'll, update you at our next meeting about the progress there. Okay, the collaboration with, Traffic Advisory Commission, Jeff.
Yeah, so I was trying to remember when, that was a couple of weeks ago. When we met and I guess for an initial meeting, we discussed the concept of complete streets and which I wrote down from, I think this may be a government definition, but it's a transportation policy and design approach that requires streets to be planned, designed, operated, and maintained to enable safe, convenient, and comfortable travel and access for users of all ages and abilities, regardless of their mode of transportation. So we discussed in a sort of an early phase, how do you define that further in the context of Webster? And we talked about our first go-to, our first goal along those lines is to establish some guiding principles. And then, so the assignment for all of us was to go do sort of a literature review and see what we could find. And gather that in a single place, and then we'll sort of brainstorm at our next meeting and decide how do we take those principles and move forward to craft something that we can recommend.
Thank you, Jeff.
I think we meet March 9th is our next.
That's
meeting.
right. That's right, and at 7. And Paul and Jeff and Elizabeth are on that subcommittee, so thanks to the three of you for being a part of that process, because it's a lot of information to digest. I spent a large part of our drive to Omaha over the weekend reading about Complete Streets. Some good stuff out there. Okay, thanks for that update, Jeff, appreciate it. We'll keep you all in the loop about what is going on with that at our next meeting. Okay, Webster on Wheels, Paul.
So the update there is, we had an initial meeting, led by Dave Buck, on Valentine's Day. And the date for the event this year is the first Sunday in May, which is May 7th. And it's going to follow a similar format to what it's done in the past, including last year. And Dave, pertinent to this commission in particular, Dave Buck has asked if we would co-sponsor the event again this year. And Todd, as you probably remember, that means helping with cones, Gatorade coolers, various things. The route will be a little bit different from last year. And we are currently in kind of charged for the next month to think about how to try and increase the ridership. Last year, I think there weren't as many riders as we hoped. And one of the things that we'd done last year was the event was free. And at least at this initial meeting, we talked about possibly we might actually get better ridership if we have some kind of a nominal fee, which funds would then be donated somewhere locally. So not to sort of raise money for the Sustainability Commission or something. So those conversations are in progress, but the date is on the calendar. It will generally look like last year, but we would like, from a Sustainability Commission perspective, Amna, I don't know if you're interested in being involved again this year, but just kind of brainstorming, bringing ideas how to make it our footprint on it greater than last year.
Thank you.
I have one comment. One thing you could think about is not everybody has a bike, so is there a way to get some bikes there for those people that don't have bikes, especially the children? I don't know. There's a way to
Yeah, that's a good
partner with
suggestion.
somebody,
Yeah.
yeah, or even another kind of vehicle, like a roller skate thing, or
Mhm.
what were those called, rollerblades?
No.
So that's
The scooter.
Scooter.
Roller scooter, yeah.
that came up.
Segways.
That came up tangentially. Like, are people welcome who are going to ride scooters or e-bikes for that matter?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to speak for the entire everyone that's involved. I mean, my own view is that the more the merrier. I mean, people use e-bikes and,
Mhm.
you know, as long as they haven't been modified to go 50 miles an hour. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's a good suggestion.
Like an access, yeah, make
Yeah.
it an access.
We talked about, there's a nonprofit down in Soulard called
E-Works,
Beworks.
Bicycle Works.
Yeah, and I know Dave and Ron from the hub know them as well. I used to volunteer there a little bit, and they would have bikes,
Mhm,
or at least some they could potentially
Mhm.
bring.
mhm.
So,
It's a good suggestion. Thanks, man. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much. We will have this on our agenda as an update item for a couple more months here. And Paul, thanks for stepping up to be our liaison with Webster on Wheels. Okay, in our new business, I should have, well, I've been talking about solar, so I'm never really quite sure where to plot this, but the conversation here at City Hall is gaining an understanding of what barriers are in the way for residents to access solar panels more readily. And there's just a couple of neighborhood specific things that have come up. And so Mayor Arnold is still talking with Mara Perry to make sure all of those are smoothed out or at least addressed with ARB or I can't think of the other.
Historic preservation.
Yes, thank you. To help folks along that path. I should have a more concrete update at our next meeting. And then with that information, we'll be able to get like, I would like to rejoin the Grow Solar program. And have that as a part of our like a solar launch almost. Webster did it in 2013. With a program that then. I can find it in my 4,000 tabs that I have open. Anyway, it was a program through Ameren and I got kicked off somehow, my Wi-Fi. So I would like to try to replicate that or maybe, figure out a way to be present in the community with some sort of fun solar launch to really help raise awareness for people to access the IRA benefits and help folks have their houses become more energy efficient. So that is the story there.
Jamie, I have a quick question about, did you say you would like to rejoin the Grow Solar program?
Yeah, I think maybe I misspoke. We, I think are still part of it, but it kind of is a little dormant from the pandemic times. And so Kat Golden, who works for Earthways Center, has reached out and asked if Webster wanted to partake again in kind of a relaunch with information sessions and such. And I said, yes, but please hold so we can figure some things out on our end.
Got
So we're in process of getting that figured out now. So that,
Jamie,
does that help?
what pieces are we still trying to figure out for for the solar?
So it's kind of a like the ARB has the park has certain, is it covenants or?
Sorry, I meant for the Grow Solar to like be with the Grow Solar program. What things do we need to do to work that out for Webster?
Yeah, that is just us saying, okay, let's do this community outreach bit. But before we get to, and I don't think there's much stopping us from being a part of that. I just want to make sure on our end, if suddenly, we're doing a big push, that residents aren't frustrated because things get snagged up here at City Hall. So I want to try to understand what's going on our end so that we can make sure that it's an easy onboard for all the residents. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Is
Okay.
there a deadline that Grow Solar needs us to commit by?
That's a good question, Elizabeth. I'll reach out to Kat and find out. I don't think so. I think it's rolling, but I'll follow up with Kat.
And my only thought is that when we went and got our solar, we went to Schlafly and Maplewood, and it would be great if we could somehow bring in some of our businesses to like host, especially maybe our green dining businesses to host the Grow Solar people. So I just want to make sure we don't miss out on that opportunity for our community.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for pointing that out. That's a good call. Okay. Speaking of green dining, Amna, do you want to share a little bit about where we are with that process?
Yes, I do. Okay, so Jamie and I met with Eric Peterson last week, I think, or the week before. So he's the staff liaison for the Business Development Commission. So he seemed very supportive and started mobilizing to get us access to a list of Webster's food service businesses. So he sent us a version, like he sent us a list of restaurants and bars, but it's from, I think, 2019.
Yeah.
I think he said. So apparently the way that we have things listed with the city does not like separate out the food service from other businesses. So he said he requested that information from the county because they have like the license, I guess, something to do with like food licenses. So that should be hopefully forthcoming. And so one thing that came out of that meeting is he requested an action plan to share with the BDC. And so some of the things he requested were like average costs to the restaurants, and including like a budget for the city to support the program with things like promotion and advertising. And then he also suggested micro grants from the city. And he said that like administering micro grants is actually pretty straightforward for the city to process. We just have to make sure that we make eligibility requirements crystal clear. So Jamie and I will be working on this action plan so that we can get it to him by their March 23rd meeting. And then additionally, Jamie and I will be meeting with Ben Doherty tomorrow. So he's the Green Dining Alliance program coordinator. And we'll talk out some more details. But something notable, it kind of sounds like making the whole city a green dining district might be less straightforward than we thought. So we are going to find out more after we talk to him tomorrow. But it just sounded like he was concerned about us being able to get the percentage of restaurants and food service businesses that is required to be certified in order to be a green dining district. So that is something that we still have to talk through.
That was Ben that had that question? Or Eric?
Yes,
Okay.
that was Ben.
Yeah, I may be the only person who was on the commission the last time we kind of tried this, and I do sort of recall there were a few restaurants that were pretty gung ho about it, and the others were like, it was just hard to get a call back. It was just like not on their priority list.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's worth, there's been some turnover, so maybe it's worth trying that again.
Yeah.
And
And
I appreciate that perspective.
yeah, thank you. So it sounds like the percentage is 25%, and they would like to increase it, I think, to 30, but as it stands right now, they need 25% of the food service businesses within the district that we're defining to certify.
So we were thinking, oh, could we do like all of Lockwood instead of focusing on like Old Orchard versus Old Webster? And Ben thinks that might be a big lift. But we really don't know until we reach out to restaurants. That's why Amna and I feel like it's important to build this collaboration with the BDC so that it has a little more, like we might have a little more leverage and folks might take it a little more seriously. Especially that's how we've talked about using some of our funding from the ARPA funds that have been allocated for sustainability to use is to create this micro grant program. And then like in Maplewood and Brentwood just wrote a program for their restaurants to help them with the membership fee. So lots of fun stuff happening there. And Amna and I we're going to do a couple of work sessions to get all of this down and specific, but like, oh no, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, well. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, Amna, so much for your partnership with all of that and for that report. And so we'll update you all at our next meeting.
What are the big ticket items for establishment to meet the
So,
criteria?
yeah, so there's a range that the GDA uses. You can have like 2 to 5 stars, I think. And then it's anything from like how you're running your operation, your light bulbs, to like your to-go containers and composting food waste. Yeah, so as you might imagine, that's quite a scale. So I think like Eric asking us to inquire, like what is like what could restaurants expect in the first year as they decide to join, as an expense, because we know, well, most of us know that food margins are slim, so. Okay, thank you. The last item in new business is a large yard sale. This is something Yvonne Steingruby from Parks has mentioned to me in the past, and she brought it up to me again this year. It sounds like it could be like quirky and fun. Like everybody in Webster has like if there's one weekend where it's a large yard sale. She has a lot of stuff at the Public Works facility, Todd, that is random. and bizarre. And she's like, it's not necessarily landfill.
So do we.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna put it all out.
random and bizarre stuff, right?
We're gonna have one at the Public Works Service Center.
So you are going to, okay, so when is this?
It'll probably be in April.
Okay,
Soon.
do you think that we could like say, hey, it's make a big push for residents to do that at the same time?
I guess that's a possibility.
Okay,
Because I'm sure Jen's gonna be advertising it.
okay. Yeah. I didn't know there was like a weekend.
Well, I
Okay,
don't think the date's been set yet.
okay,
Yeah, we're working on getting all of our stuff. That's just. laying around.
identified, yeah.
So what are we talking about? Like wheelbarrows, tractors?
No, no, we're talking about retaining wall blocks and old signposts and all kinds of interesting things that people will jump all over.
You have some ideas, some needs in the backyard, Paul, that you're like,
Buy a
huh?
used road striping machine.
Yeah, no.
I want the bike thing. Yeah, the thing that does the bike.
Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
If this is gonna go,
I'm just gonna drive around town.
And just start painting them down.
that would be amazing. Okay, well, how about I reach out to you and Yvonne?
Yeah.
And
Yvonne's coordinating it.
well, okay. You just want me to not reach out to you, just reach out to Yvonne?
She just came to me and said, hey, we're gonna be doing this.
Okay,
Okay, she said, Dr. Peoples is on board. I said, "Oh, okay,
okay.
I'll start looking through what we got, because we do
So-
got a lot of stuff that we can get rid of.
If there is like a yard sale weekend, like, is that how, people do, your neighborhoods do that, right?
Sure.
Is there anything that would be like, oh, you can't do that, Jamie? Or sustainability? Okay,
I don't think we issue yard sale permits, yeah.
okay,
You'd have to check with Mara to see if there is a permit.
I'm just asking, if everybody's gonna have yard sales and stuff outside, how
Yeah.
much stopping traffic is it? gonna
yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah.
Right, I don't.
okay,
But we also need to think about like trash pickup because a ton of it will just get left out
yeah,
that doesn't sell, I
Mhm.
would think, which could create a headache for trash pickup services.
okay, that's, thanks for bringing that up, we'll step through that. Okay,
Does the city already have a yard sale or garage sale day? I
No.
could swear that there was one.
No. Not the 8 years I've been here.
There used to be a thing that Parks and Parks Department would do, an indoor one, like a community.
Oh, at the gym or something.
Yeah. I think
Maybe that's what I'm
been
thinking
about
of.
4 years, and you could rent a table. And.
like a flea market?
Yeah, it's a flea market in the gym at the rec center.
Okay, and we don't, I'm gonna double check with the permitting process for garage sales, because I don't know if you can just have one spontaneously. Can you?
I don't know.
Anybody,
I
anyone?
think you can, but selectively might be different. So-
Okay. Okay, well, I will take that on and figure some things out there. Which is like kind of like silly and fun and whatever, okay. All right, and then really quick. There are 3 quick things I need to note that I forgot about, and then we can move on to Councilwoman Bliss's update. I went to the Midwest Climate Collaborative Conference last week. Amna was there and Pam was there. And if anybody feels like they're drinking out of a fire hose, we're not alone as far as all of the funding that's suddenly available. And so that was like my big relieving takeaway. It's like, okay, we're not the only ones who are kind of like under capacity, you know, in processing all of this potential. There's just a lot of money available, and without capacity, we risk missing out on opportunities. So that was very interesting. It was a really fascinating day for me. We said we were going to do something to acknowledge Earth Month. So we have to do that in the next like month.
That's an April, isn't it?
Uh-huh. And so if that is I'm gonna ask Carla and anybody else, I'm gonna ask specifically Carla, because she's an English professor, to help pull some things, some verbiage together for our little sign out here. And then if we, I don't like, what else can we do for Earth Month, you guys? Can you think? That is very easy, like layups. I'm talking like easy stuff. Can somebody write a little something for the, what's it called? The community page in the
Friday
WKT?
Oh, yeah.
The Friday page, community page.
Yeah. The monthly when it comes
Maybe like a list of 10 things individuals can do to help the earth.
Yeah.
Sounds like Elizabeth, is saying she'd like to do that.
Okay, okay, that's
I can work
fun.
on it.
Awesome, thanks. If anybody runs into anything else that might be like an easy, fun thing to do, that just acknowledges Earth Month and that we're working towards something greater than just recycling, send me an email and we'll see what we can do. Okay, and then the last thing I'll say is a quick update that I forgot to put on old business is that Amna and Carla and I are pushing into Hickson next week to talk to the 3 sustainability classes that Mr. Eric Hayes has. And they're very excited about talking to us also about reducing food waste on their campus. And so this is a really cool, fun opportunity. So yeah, we'll update you on that at our next meeting, how that went.
Are the 3 of you doing that together?
It's gonna be choppy and I am so bad at scheduling things. I've already messed up the schedule. Amna's probably laughing at me right now.
I am.
It is, I am just impossible. I don't know how people trust me with my own kids. But so yeah, we're gonna have to chop it up a little bit based on availability, but yeah, 2 of us, I think at least will be at each session, each class. So yeah, pretty special, pretty fun. Okay. Pam. Yeah, what can you share with us today?
Let's see, I wanted to let you know that last week was the Missouri Legislative Conference in Jefferson City, and so Mayor Arnold and Councilmember Hickson Shepherd went and met with Senator Beck and Sarah Unzicker and other electeds from our area, and just talked about the specific needs of our community or ones that relate to municipalities in general. And so I know stormwater came up and working with MSD came up as one of the subjects with those folks. Again, yeah, I did attend the Midwest Climate Collaborative thing yesterday, and I was saturated but excited with all the information that I learned. And my next step is to make a little document of key takeaways and give those to the administration here to kind of give tips on how to collectively. One thing my charge was to do was to figure out connections and other entities that they could, tap into for some of these grants or just straight initiatives there. And then wanted to let you know on the April ballot, there's a proposition for Missouri sales tax for marijuana sales that will be coming up. And last Tuesday, I don't know if you saw it in the paper, but we did pass an ordinance for Lustron homes, which were our post-war kind of kit of parts homes, and Webster had at one point 21 of those, and it's been narrowed down to 13, and so 9 of those are additionally protected now, just with an additional layer of process if anyone were to do things not in character to help honor those Lustron homes. And I think that's it. Oh, I did attend BDC, and Eric did mention the Green Dining Alliance and that you all would be there coming up probably at the next meeting to talk to them. So
I know on the legislative front, I did notice that they are moving a bill that would require, if municipalities require EV charging stations to be installed, that it would require the cities to pay for them.
Yes.
So I don't know what the status of that is, but I know it was,
It passed the House.
okay. And I don't know that we've ever talked.
We
I
talked
know
about
We've talked
policy for
about,
that.
we've talked about pre-wiring, making things EV ready if they're.
Mhm.
Specifically when we were talking about residential and that development was being proposed, but. A lot of preemption going on.
So that to be. Cause I read that and I was like, I need to ask Jeff about this. So they're saying any development outside of residential has to be paid for by,
As I understood it, if the city passed an ordinance and said any commercial parking lot of 50 spaces has to have 2 EV chargers. You're on the hook for paying for it.
That's
That's
how I
fine.
understood it as well.
Wow.
oh, Missouri.
I did see that you have the stub outs going over there, right?
The charging station?
Yes.
I've been in a shoving match with Dr. Peoples over it.
Okay.
That sounds juicy.
Is it Tuesday?
I'm losing.
Okay.
Talking about that legislation for businesses, I'm wondering if we should put on our agenda talking about how we get the residential code for new construction, having EV readiness, maybe pushed forward a little bit before the Missouri legislator takes that up.
What's that timeline look like?
I have no idea, but
Session ends in
You know,
early May,
May.
so
Yeah.
So I'll
they're
put
not,
it on.
I don't think they're gonna do anything on that. This bill could go, but I don't think they're gonna do anything, hasn't been filed yet.
For residential,
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
okay,
I don't know what the deadline is for filing new legislation, but.
because I think we talked about it last meeting and. Yeah. I'm gonna revisit that after this meeting. And we'll get that at least on our agenda for next meeting to. Be considered, but that's gonna have to go on a work session, right? Am I right with that
That would
process?
probably have to go through plan commission,
Thank commission actually.
look at it
Bring it up.
first. So
Bring it to
you're at, we're talking months,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, already,
Hearing
we
and
introduced it, like the idea of it last meeting. What do we need to do next? Just reach out to plan?
Plan commission.
Okay.
Probably reach out tomorrow, ask her how to get it on plan commission.
Okay, Jeff, can I CC you? on
Yeah.
that communication? Thank you. All right. Thanks all. Okay, all right, thank you, Councilwoman Bliss. Okay, Todd.
Okay, so, Dr. Peoples asked me to mention to you guys this SSR4A, which is Safe Streets and Roads for All.
Yep.
A grant program that, I am in these boot camps,
Mhm,
these Zoom meetings, which. The only problem is that the SSR4A is pushing for 0 traffic deaths.
mhm.
You have to have plans for 0 traffic deaths.
Mhm.
We haven't had any traffic deaths in Webster Groves.
Yeah, let's keep it like that.
Yes, so, but you can use their grants for making the complete streets and other things like that.
Mhm.
So, but you have to have an action plan in place first.
Would complete
Which
streets.
we don't
permit.
have an action plan in place yet, so you can get a grant. You write an action plan, so
Okay,
that's what I'm going to be pursuing first. For
okay,
this coming grant cycle, and then the next grant cycle, after we have the action plan in place. Then we can do to the implementation of whatever our action plan comes up with.
okay. All right. Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Second thing is Dr. Peoples would like to know what the Sustainability Commission's priorities are, because she thinks. You guys are kind of like. So she wants to have a priority list of what you're really concentrating on, what you're working on, so that I can share that with her.
Okay. I will revisit the priority list that council approved in November, I think it was, and just kind of outline and note where we are in the process
Yes.
of each of those, because it is multifaceted.
Yes, correct.
There's a lot going on.
She wants it to be narrowed down, so yeah.
Okay.
If you can work on that and get it to me, yeah.
Sure,
Maybe you can phase it, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 or something.
okay,
That would be.
like over the year, because this was like phase 1 priorities. And so I'll just comb through that and phase out those, okay. All right,
Okay.
great,
The last thing I have is this Strava Metro. The mayor found this and sent it to Dr. Peoples, and Dr. Peoples said, yeah, go ahead and apply for this. So I started the application, and there was a question on the application, the last question on the application, I'm like, how do I answer this? Dr. Peoples says, well, why don't you ask the Sustainability Commission how they want you to answer this? I'm like, really? Okay, so the Strava Metro, here's how it works. Millions of people track their rides, runs, and walks to Strava every week with their phone or GPS device. With respect of our community privacy, Metro strips this data set of identifiers and aggregates it. What is left is a vast source of trends and insights that they can share with Webster Groves that, hey, look, you've got this many people bicycling, you got this many people running, you got
Mhm.
this many. So I had to fill out the application. So I started it, and it was simple until the last question, which is, we are committed to leveraging Strava Metro data to take intentional first steps against environmental racism and inequitable access to cycling and pedestrian infrastructure. What is your project's commitment to anti-racism, transportation equity, and/or addressing systemic environmental racism? And how will the results help influence and improve access and equity in active transportation?
Mhm.
How do you answer that?
Well, I think like rather quickly, what comes to mind is like the trail. What is the park over there? Is it Lorraine? Park?
Lorraine Davis.
Lorraine Davis, yeah, park over there. So that is, I feel like part of Webster's commitment and you guys, I always get mixed up. Gateway, no,
Great Rivers.
Great
Greenway.
Rivers Greenway.
thank you. And their commitment to environmental justice and, you know, being very aware of communities. And so having that part of the trail go through those neighborhoods, I think is really important and part of acknowledging access and availability. I have reached out to Emerson, who is the as we know, council member, but also the president of the North Webster Neighborhood Coalition.
Mhm.
He and I are setting a time to chat about, because one of their issues is sustainability, what one of their focuses, how we can better partner with the North Webster neighborhood to see and make sure that their needs are we're aware of their needs and understanding what works for them, not what we think works for them. So I think like that, as far as answering that question, I feel like it is in progress. Does anybody else? have
Webster on Wheels, if you can find
I
someone
was
to
gonna say,
provide new bikes for those that don't have them, just to borrow that thing.
Mhm, mhm.
I should have listened more carefully, but are they asking for like evidence that you've taken steps, or are they asking for a commitment to use this data to expand?
Yeah, what would be your
equity?
commitment to the anti-racism, transportation equity, and addressing systemic environmental racism?
to me, so we basically need like a short paragraph explaining what we've done and what we're planning to do.
Mhm,
It sounds like.
mhm.
I mean, all these
I
things,
can try
I'm
to
right,
make it
I'm
feel
not
good.
jotting all this down, and I can try to work this into some kind of a.
Do you want us to take a first go?
If you'd
at-
like to.
Yeah, could you, any way to pass that along? I mean, I'm the one that talked up Strava Metro, so.
So you brought to America?
You brought it up in the subcommittee with the traffic.
Oh, okay.
light, is
Yeah.
Because the data they provide is really powerful.
It does look
In
very,
terms
yeah.
of planning, hey, where we would prioritize.
Cool, yeah.
And it's, you know. I
Free
think-
parking, we don't have to pay for parking in the streets.
Yeah,
It's true, I got a parking garage, you can park in for free.
yeah, Jeff, if you want to take a peek at that,
Is there any way you just cost?
I can cut and paste an email.
Okay, that'd be
Yeah.
great. And I can just, I can do that pretty quickly. It's just-
okay, thank you.
I'm grateful that there is the you know, they want, there's an equity component to.
Mhm.
Right,
Same.
right.
Mhm.
I've always been curious as to why the Public Works facility is in North Webster. Like, when did that happen and what year was that built?
2006.
Was that part of that like,
Well, no, it was built before that. 2006 was when it was modified,
Okay.
redone. So it was built in maybe the 50s.
mhm. I mean, that's part of like systemic injustice, systemic racism. I would say like the location.
Yeah, but think about it. Those people get their streets salted first in the winter.
That's fantastic.
One thing, and this goes to, cause I run over in North Webster a lot. I go up. And
You like those hills?
I do. But I noticed a lot of people who walk to that Schnucks up at Brentwood.
Yeah,
In
and
Manchester and walk back, so,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Some awareness of
Yeah.
safety and access.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
Need a new bridge across the creek there to bypass Brentwood, maybe
Oh, Brentwood.
Well, that,
from behind.
all
like,
that stuff they're doing in
the-
Brentwood's gonna be really neat once they hook up.
Yeah.
The Greenway with all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
After Creek.
Brentwood bound or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's coming along.
Yeah. June is their big
Is it?
launch. Mhm. Okay, thank you, Jeff, for that. Todd,
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
are you good, Todd?
I'm good.
Anything else, friend? Okay, groovy. Okay, then that is that. Our next meeting is Monday, March 20th. Does anybody have, before we adjourn, anybody have anything they'd like to say or share? Ask.
Out of town on the 20th, I don't know.
Okay.
There's the spring break.
Oh,
Probably spring break. so I think
Spring break week, yeah.
Has stuff going on.
do we push? I mean,
I-
that we're a
that's
small group,
It's part of getting
into if that's spring break week.
yeah.
Well, yeah, let everybody reach out and let us know, and then we can
Okay.
move it. We can move it a week if we need to.
Okay, like we've done,
We're back. It's
I think
Bring it
I'll
in.
could be like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah,
some things
right.
to do. in
true,
between.
true. Yeah.
Okay, so I will
would
email
push it back.
everyone, I'll email everyone to see and looking like most probable, we'll move it to the following. at this point.
So. Just let me know, so I can let.
I will.
I can let Katie know and everything.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. That is that then, y'all. Thank you so much. It's 4:57.
That's a record.
I know.
With all the things we have on the agenda.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. And a second. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, all in favor? Yeah, do I have to do that for that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm never gonna get the hang of this. everybody. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, see you in a